Good morning and welcome to the retreat today. And it was very nice beginning in the morning with prayer and worship by Swami Yogatmananda ji. And I'm very thankful to him for giving me this opportunity to come and be with you for third time in the last 5 years. First time, in fact, I came to US invited by Swami Yogatmananda ji. That was the first time I ever came to the United States. And it was a little risky. I had not yet got visa, and Swamiji had printed all the programs. So I thought, if I don't get, then what will happen? But he said, you will do. And with his good wishes, perhaps, I got a visa for 10 years. And with that one, I'm still coming and going. So it feels so good to be again here, and we, as you heard, we had very long association. Since 1981, we know each other, and we are 2 years together in Belur at our headquarters. Swamiji was our manager. He used to control food, and he has a deep love for, whenever we needed some muri, that puffed rice, we used to go to him and say, Swamiji, feeling hungry, can you give? Say, let me check how much stock I have, like that thing. We all controlled the thing, but he was very kind to me. I remember once he allowed me to have very little sense of music. It was never practiced in my past, this thing, before I joined. So he thought, let him give some chance of doing that, and he gave me to play gong. Because he was in charge, he could allow the brahmacharis in this main shrine. And I was supposed to have the right beat. And I thought I was doing right, but it was not right. And Swamiji, again, second time, he again gave me chance, second week. So I was very happy that he had so much love for me, and felt so good that, but still I went on doing the wrong beats at the wrong time. But he was so kind that his kindness is not that you see here. It is long back as a brahmachari, and I felt that, and that same kindness in many fold, you were receiving that. And because of his kindness and his goodwill, he invited me to be here. And as he said, he is trying to invite. And this time also I said, Swamiji, I am busy there. I had some program was already there. And he said, can't you make change of that program? I said, Swamiji, it's already settled. Ask that person where you are supposed to have some program, if he can change or she can change. Like that, he insisted, because he was been trying from October. So it didn't work, and then I said, can you change our program here, which we had confirmed, because Swamiji has invited Providence. So say, you are being invited, Swami, of course we'll try to change. And they changed earlier, last week, and so today I am here. It was my pleasure and my good luck that I am here. So today the talk or the retreat's focus is towards the goal supreme. It's very difficult to speak to an enlightened audience like you, who already know goal, who already know how to go there. So what can I talk? It's just the sharing of what, in fact, it's based on a book by Swami Virajananda ji. Very nice book. It's the book is called Paramartha Prasanga in Bengali. It is translated into English as Towards the Goal Supreme. And that book is considered to be very highly important and containing the spiritual experience of the author. Some say it inspires you like the eternal companion of Swami Brahmananda. It's like the recording of Sri Ramakrishna in the Gospel. Like those are actually from his letters and his talks, excerpts, and formed in the book called Towards the Goal Supreme, in which he talks about all spiritual practice. And it's not quite arranged nicely, but it's wonderful guidance of authorized person who is authorized to do that. Swami Virajananda ji, he joined the order in 1892, before even Swami Vivekananda came to the West, and he was only 17 years of age that time. He was initiated by Holy Mother and was ordained into sannyasa by Swami Vivekananda. He became the 6th president of the order. His great contribution, other than being the president, was that he served almost all direct disciples of Sri Ramakrishna, including Swami Vivekananda. There is a book called The Story of an Epoch. In that is written by Swami Shraddhanandaji. It's about Swami Virajananda. And Shraddhanandaji was secretary of Swami Virajananda when Virajanandaji was president. And Shraddhanandaji, as you know, he was our head in Sacramento, in our Sacramento Center for many years. In that book, he writes how Virajanandaji took Swami Vivekananda to Mayavati for the first time when in the beginning of 20th century, how he carried and how kind-hearted Swami Vivekananda was and how much trouble he had to take because of his kind-heartedness. All is described in the Story of an Epoch. Swami Virajanandaji's other contribution is the complete works that we see. It is he who compiled and edited first 5 volumes of complete works, Swami Virajanandaji did. And the life of Swami Vivekananda by Eastern and Western disciples in 2 volumes. It was originally in 4 smaller volumes, and he was one of the editors of this first edition of that book. So he had great contribution for these. Towards the Goal Supreme is not about abstruse metaphysical discussions. This book gives practical hints and directions for spiritual growth. Reading this book is an opportunity of holy company by being in touch with the thoughts of a person who has written these from his own experience. This advice of Swami Virajananda is for all men and women, rich and poor, learned and ignorant, young and old, householder and monk, for all. It deals with inspiring people to strive for spiritual progress through discipline. It gives strength to those who want to practice spiritual disciplines but are afraid of their colleagues and friends. Sometimes we say, oh, where are you going? Vedanta Society? What is Vedanta Society? Why do you go? Some people are just afraid, even if they know that will do me good. So this towards the Goal Supreme says, you can strive for that. There's nothing to be ashamed that you want to pursue spirituality or you want to be religious. You want to be born again in the pursuit of spirit. It gives impetus to those who are overburdened with worldly responsibilities and gives inspiration to those who think themselves too impure, too wicked to even pray. It gives a feeling of personal contact and holy company to kindle fire in the readers who genuinely aspire for spirituality. Let us begin today's study with a prayer composed by Swami Virajananda on Sri Ramakrishna. That is also in the book. The first 10 stanzas of beautiful poem he composed on Swami Sri Ramakrishna in Sanskrit. So one of the verse says, Sarva Jiva Papanasha Karanam Bhaveshwaram Swekritancha Garbhavasa Deha Pashamidrisham Yapitam Swalilayacha Ena Divya Jivanam Tam Namami Deva Deva Ramakrishna Mishwaram. I bow down to him who redeems all sins of individuals, who is the Lord of the universe, who assumed a body out of compassion, who lived the life of beatitude. I bow down to Sri Ramakrishna, who is God of gods. With this prayer, let us now go to the topic. The book is Towards the Goal Supreme. This is the book that you find. So I've chosen some of the paragraphs, small paragraphs. The book is not the whole book you have to read. Small paragraphs, each in full itself. Now let's see why goal. We all know without having goal, we'll reach nowhere. The goal is necessary in life. So even if we drive a car check out from parking lot, we have a goal. We have a goal for everything. We have a goal when we go from here to dining hall. We have a goal from here we come to prayer hall. Every movement of our life has a goal. Even when you ignite the car engine, we have a certain goal. We have to reach there. What about the engine of this life, human life? What is our goal? Have you ever thought of where we want to reach? What we want to achieve? Wonderful life given by God to us, the human life. We Hindus, there's a belief that you get this life after 8,400,000 births in different life, and then you become human being. So it's very precious, and in other faiths, it is considered to be once in a lifetime. It's one opportunity forever given to you to be born as a human being. So this is very precious life. So we need to utilize it in such a way that we have a certain goal, what we want to achieve in life. We want to become famous, we want to become rich, we want to become to have done something that glorifies us. What really we want to become? Or we want to become very happy living, peaceful, or we want to really aspire to attain something that is possible only in human birth. So, how to know what is the goal of life? It's just eating, living, sleeping, and working. We are just going on. We are getting advancing in age and ultimately getting old. So there has to be one goal in life. There are smaller goals, no doubt. That when you are a student, smaller goal is to pass the exam, to go to higher class. When you finish your education, the goal is to get a job, decent job, better job. Then further goals for many persons, it becomes to have a family, to have a house. Those are the smaller goals. But what is the ultimate goal of life? Those goals of life are to survive as a human being. What is the goal of human life? Sri Ramakrishna would say the highest goal, the supreme goal, is to know that your own real nature, which is Sri Ramakrishna language, is to realize God. What is God? God is our own soul. The supreme goal is to realize God, and that should be the goal of every human being, Sri Ramakrishna says. All other goals are subordinate to this supreme goal. This should be the goal of a poor man, rich man, small leader, highest leader. Everyone should have this goal in life, that the supreme goal of life, to achieve the highest that a human being can do, and that is the realization of God. Now, idea of God may vary from person to person. What is seeing God, that may vary from person to person. But this realization of self, or attaining the highest, is the goal of human life. According to Vedanta, to attain to this highest goal, the supreme goal, what are the necessities? One is that I have a wish to attain what is attainable by being born as a human being. The next is, if I think that I can become really much better, I am not satisfied with my present condition, I have so many weaknesses, I want to get rid of all weakness. I have greed, I become angry, I have attachments, I have so many defects in me. I want to get rid of all those things. I'm very fearful. So how to become freed from those is the goal of my life. I want to be a better person. I want to be independent, free. I want to be totally fearless of anything. Why do I fear of ghosts? Why I'm fear of anything that comes on the way? Some imaginative fears. Why do I have that? This is all my weakness, I know that. So to get rid of all this weakness and to become ultimately fearless is the goal. And that fearlessness will come when we realize God. That ultimate fearlessness is also called realization of God. So what is needed for that? There we need a guide. Vedanta says you need a teacher to guide you how to proceed towards the goal supreme. And that guide is called Guru. So, first the teacher. So, who can be my guide to take me for my regular things? There can be many guides. if I have to learn a little new phone, cell phone I bought, mobile. So I don't know how to play with it. Perhaps even my son or my brother may know about it. He becomes my guide to smaller things. And you give him, and him or her, a daughter, your niece. So they know so much than us, so they can guide you. Do here, Papa, do here, Uncle, Auntie, and then they do better. So they become guide in smaller things. We have many guidance coming from friends for other things. When you are in problem, we ask our friends, relatives, any of our seniors. They become our guide. That is the teacher. But what the quality of a teacher should be when we have to strive to have the supreme goal. So that teacher is not ordinary person. The first thing the Vedanta says is the teacher who can guide you to go towards this goal, to attain this goal, has to be few qualities. What are these? It's called Shrotriya, Avrijina, Akamahata, Brahmavittamaha. 4 qualities it is said. Shrotriya is who is versed in scriptures, who knows, he may not have memorized the scriptures, may not be able to speak the verses from the Gita or the Quran or the Bible, but he should know the import of the scriptures and has translated that in his life or her life. So, Shrotriya, who knows the import of the scriptures and that he practices in his life. Abrijina, another second quality. One is knowing the scriptures. Second quality is Abrijina. Abrijina is sinless, pure. And you know the idea of what is purity and impurity. If you say, what is purity? What is the ultimate expression of purity? It is pure love. Ultimate expression of purity is pure love. You can love the whole world only if we are pure. Otherwise you have hatred. You can have, if you have purity in your life, you are fearless. Otherwise you are too confined to your small personality. So purity is, all those weaknesses are not there in that person. He's freed from weaknesses. It's called Avrijina in Sanskrit. Akamahata. Akamahata is, he has no selfish desires. He doesn't want anything for his own gain. He doesn't want students to have his own glory. Oh, if I have 5 students, then I'll be called a teacher of 5 or 50 or 500. Nothing like that. He doesn't have to glorify himself or herself. The teacher, real teacher, has no selfish interest in imparting the knowledge to the student, in giving a guidance to his followers. He just does out of its nature. And beautiful Sankaracharya says, how do they do? They do like Vasantaval Loka Hitam Charanta. They do like the spring. The spring season, when it comes, by its very presence, beautiful flowers bloom. Spring doesn't come with interest, oh, I have to go and make the flowers bloom. Spring comes by its own cycle, and by its very presence, the flowers bloom. These teachers are like that. By their very nature, they guide. It becomes their very nature to guide the people towards their good, towards their ultimate blessedness. And Brahma Vittam, and they should have the knowledge of what they speak about. So these are the qualities of the teacher. So students, those who want to follow this, also should have some qualities. Otherwise, how will they follow this? The first quality is they should have desire to become free, to desire to become perfect, desire to become fearless, desire to have a lot of love in their heart. I want to get rid of all those things, negative things. I want to be very positive. I want to love everyone. Because I know without loving everyone, there is no peace. And I want to live with peace and attain that peace in this very life. That desire, which is called liberation in the traditional language, or mukti in Sanskrit. I want to be freed, emancipation. That's what the emancipation is. The desire for emancipation from all the weaknesses that I still have, that the students should have. And that students should have humility. I have to find a teacher who can guide me. And if it doesn't have humility, how will it gain the knowledge? Oh, you are always judging the teacher, whether what he says has done or not, whether perfect or not. And you all try to find the defect in the teacher and no attempt to learn what he has or she has, then you'll be never learning on that. So you know that there will be flow from that in that higher level, I am at the lower level. That type of humility has to be there. So humility and reverence for the Guru. The one, he is my teacher, and the wisdom of God for my ultimate good will flow from this teacher. I will see that teacher as my perfect guide in my progress, in my aspiration for spirituality. And the sincerity and following the teacher's guidance. Whatever teacher says, it has to be followed. What the teacher generally do is they give a mantra. That is very traditional Vedantic thing. Sometimes the mantra is a sound symbol. It has some meaning, some name of God and some meaning. And in Vedic times, the mantras were not like our times now that Guru gives some mantra and they ask you repeat that mantra, it will purify yourself. That time they used to say some short words. And those words used to be called great sentences. Sentences used to be very small, like 2 words. But they call Mahavakya, great sentences. Sentences as per se were small, but their content used to be very great. It says, I am Brahman. 3 words in English. In Sanskrit it becomes 2 words. Aham Brahmasmi. Teacher said, you meditate on that. Aham Brahmasmi. That much. That he said. And now student tries to meditate on I am Brahman. He has some concept of Brahman. Of course, everyone has the concept of I. Who am I? I am Brahman doesn't tally. There is a lot of reasoning. I am small. Brahman is supposed to be the vast, infinite. How can I be that vast? So he tries to meditate and questions come, goes to the teacher, asks the question, how can I don't feel like I am infinite. He says to the teacher. Teacher says, do more meditation. Tapasa Brahma Vijigyasasva. Do meditation. And teacher says you have to have the knowledge by yourself, by practicing. I can just guide you. I can just ask you what you should do. I cannot make you just feed into you. So that type was the Aham Brahmasmi. Now it's difficult for everyone to think that. Have this thought, meditate on this thought, and exclude all other thought, and then you will reach what is the meaning of this great word is, what great idea is. So, as that is not possible for all, the simpler way has been found that the teacher gives you a mantra. Mantra is mostly either some mystic syllable or God's name. And that mantra is something which is not created by the teacher, but it has come in tradition. He just carries it. He just gives it. And with that mantra, someone has already practiced and has realized God. So these are called Siddha mantra. All tried and tested and found that this, if practiced as the teacher says, I will attain that supreme goal. So this practicing the mantra, repeating the mantra as taught by Guru is one reason how we can attain to the supreme goal. So that's why to follow what the Guru says. We know in the life of Swami Adbhutananda. Adbhutananda was an unlettered person. He had not read anything. Sri Ramakrishna tried to teach him alphabet. At Sri Ramakrishna, the world teacher, failed to teach him alphabet. He couldn't read even the alphabet, simple alphabets of Bengali. So Sri Ramakrishna said, no, you don't need to do that. But that person, unlettered person, became so wise that many people used to come to learn from him the wisdom of what is God, how does it feel. All he was a knower of Brahman later on it became. How does he become? He didn't read any book. He didn't have any discussion on that. What is God? What is theosophy? What is theology? Nothing was there. But he became the person of highest realization. How did he become? It was because of the grace of his Guru, definitely. And he has so much of following the Guru's instruction. Once he was meditating, and it was evening, whole day's work, he felt tired. It was summer time, and evening it was a little cool, and he was found dozing. Sri Ramakrishna saw, and he told to him, what are you doing? If you sleep during meditation time, then how will you attain God? That one guidance was sufficient for Swami Adbhutananda to give up sleep whole night. How much practice he did. What a faith in Guru's word. If I want to realize God, I have to practice self-control and conquer sleep. Guru said this, and that is for my good. And he practiced, and he seldom slept at night. Whole night he would meditate. Do you remember the incident in Baranagar Mutt? When all other brother monks used to sleep, there used to be some sound, cut, sound, some sound. Some thought, oh, maybe some rats. This was like haunted, an old house. Some rats might come inside, something like that. What happens? Why does it make sound? Where is something coming? Some animal has come inside or what? Some rodent. So they couldn't find, and someone got up, and that time sound stops. And they tried to find light, put on the light, and nothing is there. And then one day somebody thought that we have to find why this sound comes and from where it comes. They were all sleeping together. And one night they didn't put out the light completely. It was like the oil lamp. So they put the light small, and suddenly this sound came, cut, like that, somebody walking or some sound. Instantly they increased the wick of the lamp, and there was a light-filled house. And they found, to their surprise, Swami Adbhutananda at middle of the night, he was sitting on his bed and doing japam on his mala, on his rosary. And that sound was coming. So he used to pass nights like that, because his Guru said, don't sleep, do practice japam. That was sufficient. One day he was meditating like that, and then Sri Ramakrishna said, you are meditating here, and on whom you are meditating, that poor person is making the dough of the flour to make bread, and you are not going to help her. It was Holy Mother. Holy Mother was preparing food for the guests, and she was alone, and so many guests come, and Adbhutananda was just meditating on God. Sri Ramakrishna told him that Holy Mother is not ordinary person. She is God incarnate in the feminine body. So helping her will give you more knowledge. Serving her will give you more knowledge than by trying to practice meditation. Service and worship are same. That Sri Ramakrishna instilled in Swami Adbhutananda. And he understood what Holy Mother is. Swami Vivekananda says to his brother disciples, you don't know what Holy Mother is, brother. So, see, I have something understood. He understood by his own cognition, power of cognition. And also must be Sri Ramakrishna must have revealed to Swami Vivekananda in his time of discourse what Holy Mother was and what Holy Mother is. So that's why he says, I know what Holy Mother is. You have to understand. You will understand gradually. So like that, Guru's instruction, serve Holy Mothers. And he served her. Conquer sleep. That was Swami Adbhutananda attained the highest of realization by just following the teachings of his Guru in absolute term. Guru's instruction are like that. Whatever Guru says, that bears a great fruit. Swami Turiyanandaji was having a great time and struggling to control passions, you see. And he asked Sri Ramakrishna how to control lust. It seems he was very sincerely striving to control lust. A young man, and something little coming, they could find out. They were so pure. And he asked Sri Ramakrishna. Sri Ramakrishna said, just repeat the name of God. So, sir, how can he thought that he will say some technique, sit on the nail or sit on the ice slab or something will be there to control this lust and all other weaknesses. Sri Ramakrishna says, repeat name of God. He didn't really believe it, that will happen. But as Sri Ramakrishna had said, he thought, let me try. And later on he says, to his surprise, it worked. Just repeating the name of God, he could conquer the enemy like lust. Kama, Krodha. There are 6 enemies that are in every human being, and we need to conquer them to become perfect persons. Those are the weaknesses inherent in us. And for that, to conquer the first one is called lust. So to conquer lust, the easiest way is just repeating the name of God. Repeat the name of God and you become perfect. Repeat the name of God and you become free from anger. You repeat the name of God and you can conquer hatred. You can conquer lust. And by just following what Sri Ramakrishna said, Swami Turiyananda found that it really works when it is followed. That's how the teachings of the Guru has to be followed in totality. Whatever our Guru says, that is the way towards the goal supreme. Guru says, do this, don't eat that, don't follow that, practice japa. Whatever Guru says or he or she says, if we follow that with full faith, if we have some questions, we can ask Guru, we can ask the teacher. How I don't feel it happens. Discuss with him, there is no doubt. But it's for the sake of discussion, to try to satisfy your reasoning. And then you find that it works. Now let us come to the book, and I'll read a passage from it, and you'll find how interesting it is and how practical they are, and then I'll try to explain those things. The first from the Towards the Goal Supreme by Swami Virajananda. The first is all numbered paragraphs. So first one. To realize God, an aspirant must have some qualities. What qualities? Patience, perseverance, purity of body and mind, intense desire or yearning, the aggregate of the 6 attributes. So many things are needed, it says. They are big ordeals, but the first thing is the desire to have this attainment of a supreme goal. So that thing is very important. And the 6 attributes you all know, that tranquility of mind, restraint of the senses, giving up of attachment to objects, remaining unaffected amidst all kinds of afflictions, faith in the words of the spiritual teacher and the scriptures, and concentration of mind on the chosen ideal or God. How can we achieve all these qualities? And when we achieve these qualities, only then we can realize God. Then we can reach that goal, we can attain that goal. So it seems so hard to attain all these qualities, even six treasures. So for this, and then, but all are possible if we start the first step. Guru said, do japam. Start japping, all these qualities you find coming. Someone asked Swami Swahanandaji, Swamiji, you are so erudite, such a great monk. Your heart is so large. I have heard from the people that whoever has come to you, you never denied that person. Even that person may be critic of you, but when he came for some help, you were always helping in every possible way. You are so loving to those persons who couldn't fit in the world. They go to you and they get shelter with you. And you are so loving, kind, compassionate, erudite. How you attain all those? What is the secret of your success in spiritual life? Sri Ramakrishna said, it's very simple, my brother. Just love Sri Ramakrishna. So Swami Swahanandaji said, it is very simple, my brother. Just love Sri Ramakrishna. All those qualities will come. Love God, and whatever you seek to achieve in life, all those qualities will come to you automatically. Just the thing is, you have to love God. And to love God, you have to strive for it. It doesn't come by itself. You have to strive to love God. So that was the first, purity, patience and perseverance. That has to be there. So it's not that after doing something, if I'm tired and say, oh, it doesn't happen. One month I tried what my teacher said, do this japam, and I was doing japam, but nothing happened. There has to be patience, and you have to go on doing that perseverance, and it will come. purity, patience, and perseverance. The number 3. Now he talks about meditation, how to meditate. Guru says us, but let us see what Swami Virajananda had to say. When you begin meditation, first sit steadily for a while and watch the mind. Let it wander wherever it pleases. Think that you are the witness, the seer. Sit watching how the mind floats and sinks, runs and skips. Keep thinking, I am not the body, nor the senses, nor the mind. I am altogether separate from the mind. The mind too is material. It is only a finer form of matter. I am the Atman, the self, the master. The mind is my servant. Whenever any idle thought arises in the mind, try at once to put it down forcibly. This is how he teaches about the meditation. Sit down and watch your own mind. And you will find mind thinking, going here and there. But don't go with the mind. Be witness to the mind. When you are able to watch your mind with your own mind, the mind which was wandering and giving trouble will automatically come under control. When the mind sees I am being watched, it can't do any mischief. It is like a small kid. When it sees your mother is watching what I am doing, kid becomes alert and won't do that. So that mind is like that. Watch the mind. When sit for meditation, watch the mind. Mind becomes calm. Then you can, when it is tamed, like I don't know a story that how a cat catches a mouse. Like that. When cat catches a mouse, first it catches and leaves, and it plays again, then catches. Makes the mouse run and become tired, and then finally catches. Like that, when mind runs and you are watching, then the time comes when you can really become like a cat and catch that mind and say, now no, we are going. Now we have to think what I want to think. You have to sit quietly and be fully engrossed of the thought of God or holiness or whatever purity, whatever form of God or the name of God, what I am thinking. And then mind really obeys you. So that's how you can tame the mind. And always when you are watching, always have an idea that I am separate from that mind. I am watching. Who is saying that? It's not the self as yet, but your higher mind, which is you think you are closer to yourself. Putting the idea again and again that I am the Atman. When you say I am the Atman, it's still the Atman as thought by the mind. The idea of Atman, idea of God, idea of Brahman, nothing is separate from our mind. But we have a certain idea of what is good and what is bad, what is God-like and what is worldly thing. So we have that idea which is thought by this mind itself. And when we come closer and have certain idea of Atman, which doesn't become restless, which is pure, patient, calm, kind, and which is pure and divine. When we have that concept of the Atman, always try to impress upon yourself that I am that Atman. Chidananda Rupa Shivoham Shivoham. I am that Shiva, means that auspiciousness, which is of the form of bliss and knowledge. I am not this body, not mind. Just I am observing this mind. Be a witness to your mind and bodily activities. Mind becomes under control. That's what beautiful method that Swami Virajananda says. About pranayama, he says, ordinarily one breathes, number 4, through the left nostril at the time of rest, through the right at the time of work, and through both at the time of meditation. The state most favorable to meditation is when the body and mind have become calm and there is even flow of breath through both nostrils. So that is how our breathing automatically is connected with our mood of the mind. When you are restless, you breathe through right nostril. When you are lazy and sleepy, you breathe through left nostrils. When you are serene, calm, active, but you are in a very good sattvika mood, one is rajasika, one is tamasika, another sattvika mood, you breathe from the both nostrils. So when you breathe from the both nostrils, then that is the right time for meditation, as it says. But do not pay much attention to watching your breath. nor make this a guide by which to regulate your activities. If you think when my breathing from both nostrils will be equal, then I will sit for meditation, maybe time will come, you will never sit for meditation. Oh Swami, I couldn't do meditation. Why didn't you do? Virajananji said, when you breathe from both nostrils, that is the time for meditation. But I found it was either blowing from the right nostril or the left nostril. I didn't find time. It was not at all in the meditative mood. So that, he said, don't give much importance to it. Whenever time is set, morning and evening, try and practice. Without that, it won't happen. Then when you start practicing, then you will find automatically, after some time, that time, meditation time, it starts breathing both from the same nostril. There was a person who didn't follow this. Do not pay much attention to watching your breath. I know a person who would not eat if he doesn't have similar breathing from both nostrils. The food will wet. The plate will be always there. Why? Oh, now I'm breathing from the right nostril. I can eat now. So after some time, he starts breathing from the left nostril. I can eat now. The morning turned into evening. The morning, breakfast, lunch, nothing was taken. So when you will have both nostrils doing, then only that person will eat. There are some eccentric like that. That's why Swami Vivekananda said, don't pay much attention to that. But he didn't follow this thing. Number 7. Whatever be the time you devote to japa and meditation, even if it be only 10 or 15 minutes, do it with all your heart and soul. The Lord is the indweller, the inner guide. He sees your heart. His measure is not how long you meditate on Him, nor how many times you do japa, but by your inner longing. There should be quality, not the quantity of japa and meditation. Try to put, when you start japa meditation, try to put your full heart and soul into that. Maybe it's for the short time. The working people hardly find time to sit for meditation for 2 hours every day. So whatever time is left, like 15 minutes, 10 minutes, that time they have to manage, and that has to be done with utmost sincerity. Swami Atulananda was Holy Mother's disciple. He had association with Swami Turiyanandaji. He used to work a great deal here when he was in Shanti Ashram in California. And after that, when he became older, he went to India and had a retired life. And India, he was a great soul, a realized soul. So he was originally a Dutch, American of Dutch origin. He used to say that when I was working very vigorously in Shanti Ashram, that time I had very quality meditation. That meditation was something very nice that I aspire for that sort of thing. Though he was extremely busy. So this being extremely busy in life and having very good meditation go together. It's not that, oh, when I'm retired, then after the work is finished, then I have plenty of time, then I will meditate. It doesn't work that at all. Meditation has to be started when we are busy, and the quality meditation helps. Number 8. In the beginning, japa and meditation taste rather dry. Yet you must go on practicing them, even if it be like swallowing medicine. You will find joy after you have practiced steadfastly for 3 or 4 years. Then, if you miss your meditation, even for 1 day, you will feel miserable, out of joint as it were. So that will come after you practice 3 or 4 years. Just not practicing. You practice 3 or 4 years steadfastly. Then you will find. Yesterday, this is about medication. Swamiji said here about medicine. So yesterday, Swami Yogatmanji was saying in the Karma Yoga class that a person who has liver trouble, traditionally, didn't like to have sugar. Everything tastes bitter. Even the sugar tastes bitter. He has dislike for it, having sugar. But that very sugar is the cure for liver trouble. And he puts it, he doesn't want to eat that. He throws out. But it has to be forcibly taken, though there is distaste for sugar. It tastes bitter, it tastes tasteless. But she goes on having that sugar. After some time, it starts gaining the taste. And it starts curing also. And finally, when the liver is cured, you like to have sugar. When you are not supposed to have, you have become fat, lot of calories, you should not eat sugar. You have so much liking, then you want to have that sugar, that sweet things. Like that there will be like that taste about the japa and meditation. When you practice this, When you have no japa and meditation, those who are fond of coffee, cup of coffee, if they don't get cup of coffee in the morning, they feel, oh, I didn't have anything. You had got all the good breakfast, nice thing, everything was nice, good lunch, but they miss something whole day. Oh, morning I didn't have a cup of coffee. Like that will happen when we are addicted to the process of meditation. You feel missing something. What happened? Oh, today morning somehow I missed meditation. Whole day something wrong doing, something missing will be there. So that will come if we practice 3 or 4 years steadfastly. That steadfastly is the word. And that has to come to every person if it is practiced. It's not for one person. Number 9. Self-effort is necessary for spiritual attainment. Resolve firmly, I will realize God through my own efforts by doing spiritual practices, and go on steadfastly practicing japa and meditation, seated in proper posture, for at least 2 hours every morning and evening, for 3 or 4 years, and see if you succeed or not. Long ordeal, 2 hours morning, 2 hours in the evening, sitting in the posture, we have to have so much time. But in the beginning, when you are busy, you can start with 10-15 minutes, as Swamiji said. About this medicine, trying to have the medicine, and medicine seems bitter, we don't understand. Now we have capsules, you see. And in the capsule inside there is some bitter medicine already put there. All alkaloids, antibiotics are very bitter. So earlier time, there was no capsules. There were liquids, and there used to be very bitter preparation of some margosa leaves or other kalmeg, all bitter stuff. And mostly medicine used to be bitter. And the patient didn't want to have that medicine. Then Sri Ramakrishna, that's why you say you have to take this japam and meditation as medicine. So I don't find any difficulty in taking medicine, but japam doesn't feel like doing it. Earlier time when there were no capsules and you had to take liquid, bitter liquid as medicine, that's why when Sri Ramakrishna says about the 3 kinds of doctors. There are 3 kinds of doctors, he said, who is to prescribe and give medicine. So one is the best kind, the mediocre kind, and the very first level doctor. The first level doctor prescribes medicine and writes something and says, have that, and you will be cured. After that, he has no concern whether patient has taken or not, the patient has been cured or not. He is not concerned about that. He prescribed medicine, have some money in his pocket, and done. Second type of doctor is little curious. He prescribes medicine and now and then asks, have you taken the medicine? And suggests, no, I didn't take it, it was very bitter. No, you must take that. Without that, you won't be cured. This is the mediocre doctor. And the best doctor, the highest degree, highest category, he says he prescribes the medicine and asks his compounder to bring the medicine and asks the patient to take that. Patient says, takes a little sip and says, it's too bitter, I can't take it. What? You won't take? He then catches the medicine, makes it flat on the ground, and Sri Ramakrishna describes in the Gospel, beautiful description. Sits in the flat, makes it flat in the ground, then have one person holding the medicine and puts his knees on his chest and opens the mouth and then puts that medicine inside, and medicine goes, and then doctor forcibly he does that, and by that medicine he knows that patient has to be cured. His interest in not how patient feels, but his interest is patient has to be cured. That is greater interest. So all this example of medicine you will find from the Indian context when the medicine is to be so bitter. Now, Number 14, never think yourself to be weak. Have firm faith in yourself. Think, there is nothing if I will. There is nothing that I cannot do. I can do everything if I will. Why should you acknowledge defeat to your mind? Know that if you can subdue it, the whole world will be under your feet. One who has no self-confidence does not have real faith in God. Swami Vivekananda has said that the real atheist is he who has no faith in himself. Nobody listens to the words of one who has no self-confidence, and God also does not listen to his prayers. Beautiful, you see. You don't have faith that, I can do this. in any work, in prayer. Oh, perhaps I cannot meditate, perhaps I cannot still my mind. If one thinks that way, that will never come to happen. So we have to have faith that I can still the mind, I can make the mind pure, I can meditate, I can become better. That type of faith one has to have. Without that faith, if you want to progress, very difficult. And it gives, if you don't have self-confidence, people will not listen to you. And God will also not listen to you if you think that you cannot do it. Number 16. Your mind will inevitably be restless at the time of meditation, so long as the idea has not taken firm root in you that the world is insubstantial and transitory, and that He alone is the only reality. Love of God will grow, and at the same time the mind will become calm to the extent that one is freed from the thirst for sense pleasures. All the pleasures of the world will become trivial and distasteful if even a particle of His love is experienced. You see, all this comes like gospel. Don't you find the gospel being echoed here? And he writes from the experience, that love of God. If we have tasted that love of God, even a drop of it, all the other things, all the charm that this world throws in front of you, all the attraction that it throws, it's nothing compared to that attraction of God. And that attraction, only we need to proceed towards that. We need to have a little taste of that. And that taste cannot be compared with that little happiness and pleasure that we gain from our sense indulgence and trying to contact with the sense objects. So that's what Swami Virajananji says from his own experience. Try to have the love of God developed, and then you'll find your meditation becomes stronger. So the need is to grow in love for God. So that will make us all the things come. Number 17. Japa, meditation, ritualistic worship. Here he describes about the spiritual practice, what are needed. We all know this. Japa, meditation, ritualistic worship, prayer, remembrance, reading sacred books, association with holy men, godly conversation, retiring into solitude, and thinking spiritual thoughts. Whichever of these attracts you according to mood and opportunity and gives you joy, take advantage of that and do that. But meditation and japa are the main things. Swami Vivekananda also said, meditation is the main thing for spiritual practice. But you cannot meditate 24 hours. So what will you do on the rest of the time? Rest of the time remembering God always. Swami Brahmananda used to say, how can I remember God always when I'm engaged, my mind is engaged in work? So that time what you do? First at the beginning of the work, you pray to God and remember Him and said, Lord, make me not forget Thee. But still you will forget, you will work. And in the middle again you hold on your work. And then pray to God, Lord, please bless me. And again at the end of the work, again remember God. Like that, more frequently you remember God. Someone said, Swami, it's very difficult to remember God. Do the japam. I said, you take breaks or not? You go for coffee, you go to washroom. Any time when you take the break, always do japam. At least that time you are not engaged with other person. You are not talking, you are not thinking, you are not doing any computer work. That time if you can put your mind on the mantram or on the name of God or on the holy thoughts, that itself becomes a regular continuous flow, and you will find that day when you can do that, having a good meditation in the evening. So about this, anything can be done. Ritualistic worship, which you like, prayer of course, and remembrance, reading sacred books, association with holy men and women. And these all are maybe difficult, but godly conversation, always talking good things. Not about always criticizing. Someone, you see all the defects of other person and start talking, oh, you see that person. Often we talk ill about the manager or boss, and then the two subordinates come and see how does he treat, how does she work, how does she talk. Always we talk about the negative things about others. And when we start conversing about the negative thoughts, then all negative qualities can come into us. And whatever reaction we had by hearing or being in touch with that manager or boss, that again we relive on that, and we indulge on that and we absorb that thing, making our mind worse. So do not talk about any bad things about any other person. Be positive. Talk something good, something nice. Talk something weather also. A beautiful weather today. So anything nice that you like, talk about that, but never indulge in negative thoughts about others. Because ultimately it does harm to you more than the one whom you are talking about. So this hatred will come, all this ill feeling will come, and that will make your mind very bad. So that's what Swamiji says, that always talking about godly conversation, that any positive conversation will do. Number 19, about faith. Faith works wonders, makes the impossible possible. Faith plies its boat, setting sail over dry land. The doubting self is drowned even in ankle-deep water. See, there is a song in Bengali that it says, by the Guru's grace, my boat is sailing on the dry land. How it is possible? It seems impossible. But the faith can make the impossible possible. That how can I control really my mind? How can I think myself as the witness? So I am so much attached to this body and my mind doesn't go beyond this body and mind. I am confined to this. I have so much, I get angry in smaller things. How can I conquer anger? If you do not have faith on these things, you can never conquer. But faith that by the grace of God, I have heard that it can be achieved. People have achieved that, I want to achieve. And with that, you can perform, Swami Virajanji said, you can achieve the highest, whatever, most difficult things, like setting sail over dry land, boat is running. Now Swamiji says about the hope. Hope is life, number 20. Hope is the source of all strength and effort. If hope is given up, one suffers agonies of death, becomes dead though living. Cling to hope till the last breath. Never till death comes, give up the hope of realizing God. If He so wills, He may shower His grace upon you at any time. Have this faith that He may perchance reveal Himself to you even at the last moment. So that faith has to be there. I have not seen God, I have not realized God, but that hope has to be there that maybe at the last moment when I finally leave this body, maybe that time God will come. And it has been said that who have come to this Sri Ramakrishna, that God comes at the end. Holy Mother said, whoever has come to the ideals of Sri Ramakrishna, he will realize God, even if not in the lifetime, then at the time when you end up your body. But that is not our goal. We don't want to realize God when we die. We want to realize God when we are living. Jivana Mukti is our goal. We want to have God-realized person while we are strong, walk, deal, talk with the people, mix with the people. That time itself we want to have God revealed through us. So for that we need to have practice. Number 22. Until love and devotion to God grow, one cannot be aware of the transitory and insubstantial nature of the world. The mind is but one, and it cannot be partitioned into compartments. One part given to God, and other parts filled with desire for name, fame, and sense objects. God cannot be realized unless the whole mind be given to Him. Unless one can do that, one has to be born again and again in the world and suffer endless misery. It's because Jesus saying you cannot serve God and mammon together. So that this you must have in our heart of heart that this world, everything is transitory and changing. Everything in the world just changes. Our body changes, our mind changes, our idea changes, our relation with the people changes. Everything is in flux in the world. So only thing that doesn't change is God. So we need to hold on to something that is permanent. If you hold on to changing thing, it will change. You cannot have the same thing. So don't have that attachment to this changing world, ever-changing world, and be fixed yourself to unchanging reality, which is always with you, which never changes. That story of 4 wives, I'll talk in the next time. that there were 4 wives to a king, and that we'll talk next time at 12:30, and I close with this number 20, number 22. We'll take them later. Thank you.